Hi, this is Brandon Spilly from Thirst. This is my wife Adrienne. Today we're going to talk about how to properly do a push-up. This is an exercise we commonly see screwed up and botched, not only on social media but in the fitness industry. They're used in sporting activities and for practice and building upper body strength. And while it's a great exercise, if it's done improperly, we're looking at some really bad mechanics and how the shoulder functions, and we can look at potentially injuring the shoulder or building bad movement patterns over time, which then we end up having to fix to make sure we get that movement pattern correctly. So Adrienne's going to show us and demonstrate how we're going to properly do a push-up, and we can talk about some progressions and regressions that we can use to help get the athlete to do a push-up if they can't do a standard push-up from their feet on the floor. So we're going to have Adrienne lay down on the floor on her belly, and what we're going to have is we're going to mainly have the athlete learn how to put their hands by their chest, so where their elbows are back like this. Then we're going to instruct them to push the floor away from them while they maintain rigidity within their torso, back, and legs, so everything moves in one good motion. I'm going to go back down, Adrienne. And when she pushes, notice that her elbows are at like a 30 to 45 degree angle. Commonly what you'll see when people are doing push-ups, they've got their hands really, really high up by their shoulders, their elbows are out at this T angle, and then they try to do a push-up. Go ahead and try, Adrienne. And what happens is we get a lot of anterior delt, we get a lot of strain on the pec in this particular motion. So what happens is when we're up here like this, our shoulders internally rotated, and that way that ball and socket joint works. That's not optimal for the shoulder joint, and that can cause wear and tear. If you talk to any old guy that's bench pressed like this for a long time, they talk about how their shoulders are trashed. That's probably why, is because their elbows are not in that 30, 45 degree area. We're just taking that same mechanic and we're applying it to the push-up. The difference between a push-up and a bench press is that the push-up is what we call a closed chain exercise. So Adrienne's hands and feet are rooted into the earth or in the ground, and she's physically pushing her body away from the ground. Go ahead and push, Adrienne. Pushing her body away from the ground, and then she goes back down. Where in a bench press or a dumbbell bench press, for example, when we push the dumbbells up, we're in an open chain environment where the arms are moving and the body is staying still. And that's a big training. There's a difference between those two and how that works with performance and results and mastering body mechanics. The other nice thing about the push-up is when we're doing a push-up, if the push-up's done correctly and everything's controlled and engaged the way it's supposed to be and the elbows are in the right position, we get really good tricep and pec and shoulder work in a safe environment. But also when she does a push-up, we're going to do one more, Adrienne. When we do a push-up, she gets a good abdominal work if all this stays where it's supposed to be, where if they stick their butt out, stick your butt out really hard, Adrienne. If they do a push-up like this, that's getting bad core work. Or if they let her butt sag, go and let your butt sag, really different. This is really bad on the low back, and again, the core is not enabled because it's not stacked over the diaphragm. So if we have an athlete who has a hard time doing push-ups, what we do is we have them go to their knees. Adrienne's going to go to her knees. You can have your feet on or off the floor. That's up to the athlete, however you want to coach it. But then her pelvis is going to rock forward. So again, we're basically in a plank position. Just we have a shorter lever arm, so from knee to shoulder instead of foot to shoulder. And then she's just going to do her regular push-up. The motion stay the exact same, and then back down. So what we really like to see is that they get to about 90 degrees with their arms. They don't have to touch the ground if they don't have to, unless they're doing some kind of military testing. The other option that you could do if you want to assist this, you could put this in a rig where you have a band across the rig, and they would have band assistance to help. Or we've also demonstrated the Swiss bar push-up and some of our other social media stuff of how you can get the athlete raised in elevation to where you just would raise their hands like on a bench or a rack or whatever you're using. So 3 main takeaways: make sure hands are in at a good neutral position, elbows stay in, 30, 45 degree angle, core and abs are enabled the whole time, and then just find the right progression that's right for your athlete or your personal training client. If you have any questions, feel free to leave in the comment section. Thanks. Have a great day.